Well, good is subjective, you know? I mean, for him, if he decides to choose Lily's side, it initially would feel like a good thing because he's kind of found his pack. And I think he spent I know he spent pretty much all of his life being an orphan, being the outcast, being imprisoned in solitary confinement. And so for him, a huge need is to have a community of people he can love and trust and maybe eat people with. So, yeah, I think it could potentially be a good thing, but that could also potentially backfire because he also has loyalties to Damon as well. And I think if he were to choose a certain path that was against Damon's path, that would be a conflict that's bad for Enzo and good for Michael, the actor. Fun to play. Well, I think that's going to be his big dilemma this season, is which side does he choose, you know? And, yeah, I guess we'll just see where that goes. I kind of answered that a little bit before, yeah. Yeah, well, I think that's like an absolutely brilliant trick, because what happens with an audience is when they see that time jump, they think, how did that character get there? And then they start to kind of watch the time in real time and start to see and try to guess what's going to happen in order to lead to that point. It's like Memento or whatever, you know, the film Memento. And for Enzo, apparently we see a time jump that is something to do with his love life, that we see him together with somebody, maybe somebody we know on the show. And so yeah, there's a little spoiler. Everyone wants to know about the love life. I don't know why. That's the boring stuff. Let's kill more people. Come on, it's a vampire show. Goldblum. Yeah, I'd like to invite him to Mystic Falls to play my dad.
How about what's currently on the show?
Oh man, I thought I surpassed that. Okay, yeah, I would like to work more with Kat Graham. I think she's a great actress. I think their dynamic would be really great together. The stuff that they have had, she's kind of bitchy to him, and Enzo kind of digs that kind of thing, you know? Hence the thing with Caroline. So, but also Kat, you know, she invests a lot, not that everybody else doesn't, but she really invests a lot in the work. And yeah, she's be great to do some more scenes with her. Real kind of composure and an idea of what she wants, you know, and I think she spent a lot of time kind of, you know, flickering in and out of that, you know, but well, I don't know. I'm not an expert on it, but yeah, she's great. Absolutely. Well, I think that it's a fantastic opportunity for the writers to revamp the show. No pun intended. I hate when I say that. But yeah, and I think what they're doing with this time-lapse trick is really cluing us into a different kind of what's the word, like framework or whatever, so we can kind of lock into that kind of idea of what's going on and what's going to happen. And I think people, you know, as much as we're all going to miss Nina, I think they're, you know, when we read the first episode, we didn't think about it too much. We weren't like, oh, where was the Elena scenes, you know what I mean? And I think that's a really good sign. You know, that's a strong sign. And I'm really optimistic. I think it's a great opportunity, and I think what they've done so far is pretty groovy. Yeah, well, I assume so. You know, I've got my own ideas of what he's doing and all that stuff, but you got to wait until you get the scripts in for you to find out what's really going on. You know what I mean? So we can only pose so many ideas to the writers and stuff, and I just like to see where when every episode comes in, I literally just tear it open and go, okay, what's happening now? You know what I mean? And but yeah, we find out as well that he plays guitar, which is an interesting level of character right there, you know. So it's nice to have some backstory. I'm a musician, I'm a singer-songwriter.
To sing on the show?
I don't know about sing. I hope not. Because I don't know what Enzo's voice is. I know what Michael's voice is. That would be weird. That's something I'd have to really spend some time with. But yeah, I've been playing I was a musician before I was an actor. I played in punk and hardcore bands and stuff, and and then I kind of became an actor later on. I was about 22, and yeah, I released an album last year, Feed the Flames, on iTunes. Doing another one. It's called Knots. It's coming out this fall. There's a shameless plug. Well, no, I think he just like it's what he kind of does when he's sitting around. Because you think like, what do these people do other than run around and try to solve their problems all the time? There must be some downtime where they're just sitting around in front of the fire by themselves. What would he do? Read a book? He probably reads books, but playing guitar kind of adds another level of not sympathy, but something like sympathy for the character. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know anything about that, but what I can say is that I'm really excited to have the introduction of a bunch of new, really colorful, interesting characters in the Heretics, because it's nice to have one big bad, but when you have a few that are offering different elements of it, there's like this couple, this like gay couple that comes in, and they've got their own kind of witchy dynamic, and there's a couple other powerful kind of heretic characters as well, and I've yet to meet all these people, so I'm really excited to kind of meet the new cast, and the people we're going to be hanging out with, I think he wants to have Damon around, though. I think that's something that, like, no matter what goes on between those two, they have this intense bond. I don't know if it's like, where, I don't know. I think that's something that he's missed in his life. He needs a sense of, as much as what he gets from Lily is a certain thing. I think that kind of is, a man needs a brotherhood. You need your boys, and I think that's something that Enzo's going to find that he's lacking with the Lily thing if he decides to kind of shift his allegiance to that. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know anything. You know as much as I do about that. I've read 2.5 episodes.